Yesterday, we began this beautiful little study as we walked through the book of Esther. And we saw the seeds of loyalty and the seeds of integrity sown that, unbeknownst to Mordecai, would bring a harvest of salvation for the Jewish people, the people that followed his leadership and Queen Esther's leadership. But I want you to notice now the protagonist coming up into this situation. We have Haman introduced. Now, in Esther chapter 3, verse 9, Haman, one of the top leaders in the realm, comes before King Xerxes. And he says, "If it please the king, issue a decree that they may be destroyed, and I will give 10,000 large sacks of silver to the government administrators to be deposited in the royal treasury." He said, "I want to buy a law, please." He said, "I will give 10,000 sacks of silver to buy a law to kill the Jewish people." The king agreed, confirming his decision by removing his signet ring from his finger and giving it to Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of the Jews. And the king said, "The money and the people are both yours to do with as you see fit." So on April 17th, the king's secretaries were summoned, and a decree was written exactly as Haman dictated. So Haman bought this law, and he dictated the law. It was sent to the king's highest officers and governors of the respective provinces and nobles of each province in their own scripts and languages. And the decree was written in the name of King Xerxes and sealed with the king's signet ring. Now, sometimes we look around at democracy today, and we get very upset when we hear lawyers or lawmakers in Congress and lawmakers in senates or lawmakers in parliaments as they swap things. Well, I'll let you write this section of this law, but then I get to write this into your law. And it's all about money. It's all about, I want this and you want that. And we look at it and we think that this is all something new. But I want you to notice, Haman went to the king and said, "I want to buy a law. And this law is going to be for the annihilation of the Jewish people because I hate them. And I'll give you 10,000 sacks of silver if you let me write this law." And King Xerxes agreed. He had no idea that his wife, Queen Esther, was a Jew. He didn't care about the Jewish people. So he said, "Fine, 10,000 sacks of silver. The kingdom can use that. We're going to write the law. You can write the law, whatever you want to dictate." Now, in addition to purchasing this evil law, Haman put an incentive in the law to make sure that it was done. In Esther 3, verse 13, dispatches were sent by swift messengers to all the provinces of the empire, giving an order that all Jews, young and old, including women and children, must be killed, slaughtered, and annihilated on a single day. This was scheduled to happen on March 7 the next year. And the property of the Jews will be given to whoever killed them. He says, all right, let's put an incentive in this to make sure it's done. And King Xerxes had said, all right, for 10,000 sacks of silver, you can write the law however you want to write it. So he dictated this law. And part of the law was anybody who kills a Jew can keep his house, can keep his fields, can keep his property, can keep his gold. And of course, everybody's going to go after free money. Kill a Jew and get rich. Now you look at all of this and you go, man, there's no justice. But beloved, there is no justice in the world today. These laws are purchased. People write laws that destroy the poor. People write laws that destroy their competitors in business. It's no different in the world that we live in today. This is why you will often hear me say that there is no justice except at the throne of God. And only by an intervention of God can corruption be overruled. And that's what happens here. These people bought and paid for a law and provided incentive to make sure that what they wanted done was done. They provided additional corruption incentive, so to speak. And only by God's grace and intervention is justice done. Now, if God can bring justice to the Jewish people, in spite of this, God can bring justice to you and to your family. So if you are in the face of injustice right now and you see people that have manipulated laws and provided corruption incentives to get things done that are not right, would you just relax a little bit? and get on your knees before the throne of God. Because at the throne of God, we find justice.